This gets back into the studies from the Russians about DNA, dealing with a particular experiment that was done. First of all, we have Dr. Glenn Ryan, an American scientist, who showed he took placenta DNA from a human placenta, put it in a test tube, and had people trained to create certain emotional states. They'd hold the test tube and they'd feel like the greatest anger, rage you can imagine, or they'd feel the love of a mother for a newborn baby, the most pure, unconditional love. And what Dr. Ryan found, R-E-I-N is how you spell his name, is that when you feel the love, the DNA unwinds. And in order for when the helix unwinds, the messenger RNA can go in and grab the code and build life, build healing, build the healing of your body, the healing of cancer, diabetes, whatever. The anger causes the DNA to knot up like a braid of hair, and then you can't get healing at all. Now, this is the kind of data that I went into great detail about in my MP3 series, The Science of Peace, which is available on my site. And that's where I went through all this with this man who won 9 Grammys in music. His name is Larry Sire. We did a whole musical soundtrack for it. It's wonderful. I'm just giving you a little bitty taste of it right now. But anyway, so that proves on a microbiological level that DNA is an antenna for consciousness. It's tuned to the mind and to the soul. Well, now you have to get into this guy, Dr. Peter Garriev, who first conducted research called the DNA phantom effect. He found you put DNA in a little room in which it can absorb light, and all the light gets stuck in the DNA and spirals through the molecule. It doesn't stay in the room. The DNA is like a light sponge, which is really weird, right? But then you take the DNA out of the tube and the light keeps on spiraling as if the DNA was still there holding it in place, but there's no DNA. And guess how long it stays like that? How long do you think? You watching this, 30 days. 30 days the DNA continues to act even though it's not there anymore. This is what we call a latent structure, latent structuring effect. And this is a common feature of what the Russians call torsion fields, which I get into great detail about in the Science of Peace CD series on my website, Divine Cosmos. Anyway, Garriev went further than that. He took a frog embryo and a salamander embryo, takes a non-burning laser, shines it through the salamander embryo, redirects the light into the frog embryo. All he's doing is beaming light. They're hermetically sealed containers. What do you think happened? Well, you don't really want to go there, but remember what we said about the Drosophila, the fruit fly? Take the DNA of the eye code out. 5 generations later, the eyes pop back on. You have this plant, you make it mutate, standard laboratory plant, 25% of the time, the mutation is healed. So what do you think happens if you shine the energy of a salamander embryo into a frog embryo, just the light beam? The frog embryo completely retools itself 100% and becomes a salamander, and there is no genetic evidence of it ever having been a frog whatsoever.